Hello everybody and welcome to today's Legends series. It is September 2020 and we are in, I think, month 7 of the coronavirus COVID lockdown, whenever you're watching this. But here in Japan, we have quite a relaxed lockdown at the moment. We're just heading into autumn here in Japan. As you know, I love people's stories and I believe that everybody has stories. There are many, many ways to lead a life. And today I am talking to the wonderful Mei Sawada. Hi, Mei.
Hi.
I'm really interested in understanding things from all generations as well. And Mei, it's so far is my youngest person who I'm interviewing. So that's absolutely thrilling. And I want to tell you a little bit about her. And P.S., you may notice that her surname is the same as my number 2 legend from last year, Mei Sawada. So if you haven't listened or watched that, go back and watch her mum's and you can make the connection between their 2 stories. So today we are talking to Mei, and Mei is a really interesting woman. 2 years ago, after she finished middle school, she decided to drop out of regular school and go to a special school where she could get her GED, a high school diploma, and completely focus her life on her circus skills. Mei is an elite athlete. She studied at the circus school in Montreal, Canada, and was lined up, and I still think this might happen, to maybe join the Cirque du Soleil, but that's the level at which she's playing. And I find this really, really interesting because I always watch those Cirque du Soleil things and think, who does that? Ta-da, it's Mei. Mei is one of the people who does this. So she left school in November, having got her high school certificate, and now is working in the brand new Adidas store in Shibuya, Tokyo. Her mum is English, her dad is Japanese, and we're going to hear all about her background now. So Mei, why don't you start and tell us all about your background, your ancestry, and your personal history?
Well, where should I start? Well, I've always been an active person, so I could not sit down. Like, I could not study, and I've always been like moving around. Like, since 1, my dad took me to like skiing, and then we went skiing together, and I don't know, I've always loved sports.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, tell us a bit about your dad and your family. Tell us about your mum and dad and your family, and what it means to you to be from these 2 different cultures or 2 different backgrounds.
Well, first, the email that you sent me, you said, how was it being bilingual? And I thought, well, I don't really know because I've never been
right.
One culture. So, yeah.
So how do you think it's influenced you then? This, you know, you've got your English line. Why don't you tell me about your English line?
My English line?
Yeah.
My English line? I've started training a lot, so we haven't been back for a long time. But what I remember is, like, we went for Christmas, and then we carried this massive tree back to my nana's house.
Yeah.
And then we nearly got like what do you say? Over by a car because we were carrying this massive tree, and then we didn't even see where we were going.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. And well, my nana is a really big supporter of my work, what I'm doing.
She's a big supporter?
Yeah. And once she came to Canada with me, and yeah, when I went to this circus camp thing, it was 2 weeks, and she came to Montreal and stayed with my mum while I was training, and then after the circus training finished, we went to like loads of places, and then went for dinner, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you."
Oh.
Yeah.
And what does their support mean to you?
Well, it means a lot because if I don't have support, I don't think I would be なんかここまで来れた. How do you say that?
You wouldn't be where you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need their support to get you to where you are today. Yeah. So your grandma on that side, on the English side, she's a massive supporter of you, and you are, and your mum's a big supporter as well, and your dad obviously has been a big supporter as well. So why don't you tell me about the Japanese side of the family? Where are they from? What's their kind of?
So my grandma.
Yes.
And my dad lived in America for a bit, and then they came back. And then they lived in Japan from like when they came back, like all the time. And then my dad's been really very, very active person. He's been doing like karate and like football and all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, I think that got passed along to me.
And what's the active things on your mum's side?
I'm not sure.
Well, she's a yoga teacher, right?
Yeah.
And Zumba. She used to be a Zumba teacher. Yeah. And a dancer when she was young.
Yeah, I think she did ballet for a bit.
Yeah.
She loved it, but she quit, and then when she became older, and then she wanted to do yoga. But I was already training from there, so
great.
Yeah, like I think she passed along the dancing side from
right.
Her.
So you've got this really active football and karate from your dad's side, and you've got this like the dance, the yoga, the kind of body movement stuff from the mum's side, and this has been put into you with all this encouragement down the line. So because I know a little bit about your family, and also have met your grandma, Oba-chan, which is what Oba-chan means grandma in Japanese. You live in a 3 generations house, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, I've met your grandma and I really like her, and she speaks really nice English as well, because she used to live in America. She's really interesting. Tell me a bit about your grandma and how she encourages you as well, your Oba-chan.
Well, she loves to chat, so we're always chatting, and she's like, "Choshido, like, how are you today?"
Yeah.
She comes to all of my happyokai performances. And she, of course, is a massive supporter too. She loves watching like the videos that I took from my classes, my like happyokai performances.
Yes.
Like, oh, so good.
So I'm getting this I'm starting to see this kind of picture of this really well supported by 2 different generations. You've got all this love and support to really bring you forward into your genius, into the thing that you love the most. And it takes a great deal of dedication to be an elite athlete at your level. So it's really important, this. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And you also, so I understand at the moment that you are, your family is undergoing a big change right now. Tell me about that.
So we're building a new house. And we, like, the old house that we lived in was, like, from my dad's childhood house. So that is a big change. So we're in, like, a new, like, tiny apartment. IKEA, 1 floor, two-floored like house.
Yes.
And yeah, it's all knocked down right now, and I think they start building it from tomorrow or today or something.
And how's that transition going for you?
Well, it's good. I need to get used to the new house. Like, it's quite far from the station that we like. The place that we lived in before was much closer. So that's a bit taihen, a bit. My English is.
That's completely fine. We love it. It's fine. I could do a little bit of translation for you. I think this is really charming to hear the mix of English and Japanese. And for anybody who's listening to this is quite normal in our daily lives when we live somewhere else. Is that we mix up different bits of Japanese and English all the time in our daily lives. So when you say it's taihen, what I think you mean is it's just a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as being like 5 minutes walk from the station. You have to think about things a bit more, right? Yeah, I just moved to the seaside and I'm 15 minutes walk from the station now. So you just have to think about things a bit more, like all distances are a bit like the nearest convenience store is 10 minutes away, you know. Yeah. So I completely relate to you. So your childhood home, so it's your dad's childhood home. It's the only home you've ever known. And you lived in a 3-generation house, and that's the only thing you've ever known as well, right? So if I say to you, what do you like about living in a 3-generation house?
Well, what do I like about it? It's really, like, do you call it authentic?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I like that about it.
And
it has like a little niwa, like it's not really little, it's quite big, but like we have like all this massive trees.
Yes.
Like, it grows sakura. So that's really pretty to look at when it's like the season comes.
Yeah.
And you get to pick plums.
Oh yeah.
With the plum tree, and then we can make umejuice, which is like
plum juice.
Plum juice, yes.
Yeah. Lovely. And so there's this kind of sense of culture and of things that are really native to Japan, like the plums, the cherry blossom, the pine tree over the front door, all these kinds of things in that house. And of course, if somebody's listening from different countries, certainly in my family, we didn't do 3 generations living in one house. So we didn't have like grandma. So some families did, but it's less and less common now. So what did you like about living with parents and grandma?
Well, I've always been living with them, so I don't really know what it's like without them.
Yes.
So I can't really like
make a comparison.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah.
It's really fun. There's always someone in the house. Yeah, that kind of stuff. There's always food. There's always someone to talk to. Yeah. That's really nice to have when you get home.
And will grandma move back in with you when the new house is built? Yeah.
He's living with her one-chan sister right now, but she'll come back when the house is built.
How old is your grandma? Do you know?
80.
Wow. And she's still super active, right?
She's super active. She rides a bicycle by herself. Yeah, she goes to the supermarket really like with her bicycle, and she's like, "Katte-kitayo." Yeah, she's really active.
So do you think that some of that you've got some of that through her as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. So you used to go skiing when you were younger. What else did you do sports-wise when you were young?
I did a little gymnastics, but that was like really a short period of time. And then I started again. Yeah. And I used to do swimming for 7 years.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And a little ballet, but the teacher was a bit scary. So
Oh yeah, ballet teachers can be very scary. I can remember. I quit ballet because the teacher was mean to me one day as well. Can you believe it?
Yeah, they're really scary. I couldn't handle it, so I
yeah.
But yeah, I started all those things again.
Yeah.
And what else did I do? I love running around. I've always been active.
Yeah, so you were this super active kid from these super active parents with the super active grandma. So what were you like at school? How was school? So you went through the Japanese school system, right? Not the international school system. Yeah. And again, just for anybody who's listening who doesn't have the same context as Mei and I, sometimes when people have two parents from different backgrounds, they go to an international school. Or if you're living in this, if you are two non-Japanese living in Japan or in a different country, then you would be often send your kids to international school. Or some people choose to send their kids to Japanese school or local school up until a certain point, and then when it comes to middle school or high school, they'll send them on to international school. Then it just depends. So tell me about your school journey.
So my oji-chan, grandpa, and my dad went to the same school as me.
Really?
Yeah, from yochien, so preschool.
Yeah.
To
university.
University,
yeah.
But I chose to stay until middle school.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like studying because I liked moving a lot. I could not sit down.
How did that influence you? Like, how did your teachers cope with you?
Well, I wasn't a terrible kid, I think.
No.
So I could study, but like the teachers were also supportive. So when I had to like leave early, they were like, "Ganbatte renshu."
Yeah, so ganbatte renshu means do your best, go practice. Yeah. So they were behind you. That's lovely. Love that. I didn't like studying because I loved moving around. I understand as well. Like I wasn't like a super active kid, but I was very, I would get things finished quickly and then get a bit bored. So I was the chatty one. I was also kind of moving a lot, but like just in my seat. And all my reports used to say talks too much and distracts others. Because I just, you know, it was hard for me to concentrate for that long on things that I'd kind of was bored of. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Like when I did my English classes, I was always the one that finished first.
Yeah.
And my teacher was like, "Oh, did you finish already?" And like I was like, "Yeah." And then she gave me the hard stuff, like the ick and stuff.
Yeah. The special test. That's the test for English test for kids and people. Yeah. Good. So what was your school life like? Did you enjoy school, or you know, I know you chose to quit at a certain point, but we'll come to that later. I'm just like trying to build a picture of what you were like and what your experience was like at school. Did people find you quite curious?
Well, my friends from the preschool that I went to.
Yeah.
So we always knew each other. Like, Mei's bilingual. She's something. And like, I hear a lot of people talk about how they hate being bilingual, but my friends say that I've always been like,
I'm sorry, I don't know how to translate that. Otherwise, I would try and translate it.
Been like, you're not fully Japanese, so you don't understand, or you're not fully English, or you don't understand. Like my friends have been like through that, but I've never been through that.
Okay.
And so I've had a like good school life.
Great. So your friends just took you as you are?
Yeah. And yeah, we've always been together, so I guess there's no, like, what do you call it, like fighting or
No, nothing unusual. Wonderful. And it's interesting because you said you went to the same school as your dad and your granddad, because all that house that you're just rebuilding now, that's the family land, right?
Yeah.
So this is another thing that is quite, it's not unusual for you, but your cousins live like on the same land, right? But in a different house, like 5 meters away.
Yeah.
And so that's quite curious for some people, I think, to get that. So how did you enjoy growing up next to your cousins too? What was that like?
Yeah. We played together always when we were little.
Yeah.
We went for dinner. He came over. I went over, and yeah, that was really fun. But when I started training, we didn't we didn't do that as much.
Right. So when you hit like your kind of teen years or something, that's quite normal, isn't it? I think, but at that point you kind of yeah quite normal. Okay, Mei, so you had this two really active and athletic parents, and then at some point, and you were super active as a child as well, and then at some point you decided that you wanted to be an elite athlete. When was that time? When was that point when you decided that?
Well, I started from when I was 9.
9.
I instantly thought, when I went to the studio the first time, I instantly thought, I want to do this for a long time. I want to do this for a job.
Which studio?
The Kingsjo one, so the Aerial studio.
Aerial. And what's Aerial? Is that the silks?
Yeah, the silks.
Yeah? So those are the ones that you see people kind of spinning around on and everything. Yeah, okay.
And I've been doing that since 8, and then until elementary school.
I
was doing it for a naraigoto, so like I was just doing it for fun,
just for a hobby. Yeah, your school activities.
Yeah. And then from chugako, middle school, I decided that I want this as a job. I want to do Cirque du Soleil. And from the second year of middle school, I started training a lot. So like 5 days a week of training. Yeah. And then the last year of middle school, my teacher was like, what do you want to do for your job, and like how do you want to tsuzukeru, like continue this as your, what do you call it, life?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I said, I want to go to Cirque du Soleil and I will train hard, so can you help me? And we had like a chat, and then I started to like feel really strong about like how I wanted to become a performer.
So I'm really interested, so this is for our listeners as well, and as a coach, I'm always encouraging people to follow that feeling, whatever that is. So you've just mentioned it 3 times there, this feeling where you walked into this studio in Kinshicho, which is north of Tokyo, and you felt like, whoa, this is it. This is how we get into our zone of genius. And then in middle school, you thought, I want to do this for my job. I want to join the Cirque du Soleil. Yeah. And then again, when your teacher asked you, again, you had this strong feeling. Describe this feeling to me. Like, how did you feel when you were 9 and you walked into this place and you thought, this is what I want? Because I would love people who are listening to kind of understand what that feeling is. I feel that feeling when I'm coaching. I feel that feeling when I'm running retreats. I feel that feeling when I'm interviewing people as well, it's like, oh, I just love this so much. It doesn't feel like work, you know?
Yeah, it feels like you know, when you're in a race and then you're waiting for the like sound to like run. It feels like, it feels exciting. It feels scary, but you love it at the same time.
Oh, I love that description. So it's that feeling of when you're just waiting for the starting gun.
Yeah.
That kind of like, oh, that exciting feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you felt that all those occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So so this teacher asked you what you wanted to do in the future when you were in middle school. What happens next then? Because you actually, I mean, I mentioned this earlier, you decided to drop out of regular school and go into this kind of special, what would you call it, like a special cram school, so that you didn't have to attend school all day, something like this. So tell me more about this decision.
So the second year of middle school, I started thinking about what school I should go to and how I'm going to like deal with the school stuff, because I didn't really want to go to school. I just wanted to train and do what I love. Like, and then I started searching for dance schools, like professional senmon. How do you say it in English? Like
a specialist dance school, like a drama school or a dance school where you could full-time be studying alongside that. Got it. Yeah.
And then, but my teacher was like, how about just like taking the GED? And then like my senpai, my
senior, your senpai, your mentor.
Yeah, my mentor took the GED program, and then she was like, how about you do this instead of going to a dance school or like a senmon gakko? And I was like, oh yeah, I should do that. And then I decided to drop out of school and then do the GED.
I like the way you just say that, like matter of factly. I just decided to drop out of school. It's like, wow. I mean, this is such a big decision. I think people are very scared of decisions like this, and you know, it seems quite scandalous. And I think for parents as well, you know, it's quite.
Oji-chan and Dad went to the same school, and he was quite surprised that I wasn't going to this school. But he was quite proud of me. He was like, "Oh, yoku yatta." Yeah.
Oh, love it. So that proud of you, that support from parents is so important if somebody wants to be an elite in something like this as well. It's a theme that's running through everything you're telling me. So it's really wonderful to understand that. And I think that, you know, for those of us who aren't parents as well, we have to give that to ourselves, to our partners, to our friends, and encourage them to live life in different ways as well. That's something I feel really strongly about, because this is such a big decision, and a lot of parents will be really scared of a decision like that, and might even just say, no, you need to stay in normal school. So this is really interesting. So now I want to get into some detail, Mei. So so you drop out of school, you start doing this kind of it's a part-time school, right? Where you just study for the GED, nothing else, just so you can pass it. What does a week in Mei Sawada's life look like from now, when you're just training and training and training and training to be this elite?
A week, how does it look? Well, I do 5 days a week for training, and then take 2 days off, so I can maintain my body, like have some fun with my friends and that kind of stuff, like shopping and and I normally train like 4 hours.
4 hours a day for those 5 days.
But on Wednesdays I train like from 3 till 9. So how many is that?
6 hours.
6 hours.
Wow. Okay. And so tell me about that 4 hours. So describe, like, so you get up at what time, and then what kind of, I mean, I guess you have to regulate your food and your eating, because you need to eat extra because you're so active, but also you shouldn't eat too much, because then that'll stop you from being able to do the stilts properly. It's like physics.
Yeah.
You know, so tell me about, like, I'm just so fascinated by this because I've never been in it. I mean, you know, I used to play sports competitively and things like that, but I was always an amateur. I never had my eyes on the prize, you know.
Yeah, so
how about your day?
Well, I usually come home really late, like 12, before 12, because of the long hour training. So I like to sleep a lot, so I usually get up at like 9 or 8:30. Yeah, and then I get up, eat some breakfast, and then like do some phone time, like do what I want to do, and then I go out the house about 12, and then go to training, or leave the house at like noon, and then go to training, and then I kind of stretch a bit and like tell the teacher where it, like if I'm hurting my shoulder, I can't do this and that, and then she'll say what to do, and then I kind of fix that a bit, and then I do some kintore, which is like push-ups and pull-ups and
So training.
Training.
Core training, muscle training. Okay.
Yeah, and
so
then
that kind of kata as well, like that you just have to do just the straightforward, like it's not all spinning around on silks. You have to okay.
And then I go on to the skills. So if it's a silk class, I do the silks, and then if I have gymnastics, I do gymnastics, and then before that, everything's different. So if I have a gymnastics class, I have to do this kintore or stretching.
Right.
If I have to do the silks, I have to do what I need to do for like the routine. And then like stretching and kintore. And what else do I do? If I just have a stretch class, I don't do any kintore because the muscles will get tense, so it's a bit taihen.
Difficult.
And for ballet, I usually like don't do anything before. I just do stretching, and then I just let the teacher say like you have to keep your upper body higher or lower, or she does the adjustments.
Right.
Yeah. And for like eating and stuff, I had a bit of a problem this year because we have to look like not slim, but like what do you call it? Like if you're overweight, it doesn't look pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, my teacher says that. And this corona thing, I was like, we couldn't train. So I was like eating because of boredom. And then I reached my like highest weight level. And then my teacher was like, you can't do this. So I've lost 5 kilos from then. Then I'm still losing weight, but eating, I love to eat, so I have to be really careful.
Right.
And if I like eat a lot of snacks or like junky food, it'll go up really quickly. So yeah, I'm being careful right now of what I've eaten and like drink and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean it's worth mentioning that this is your profession, right? And so it's incredibly important that you regulate your body size because it's your profession and because this is what's expected. How do you cope with this constant feedback loop? I mean, you know, so many people are afraid of being criticized, me included, and a lot of my clients are just so afraid of being criticized. But every single day you have to adjust. You're constantly being told, okay, you need to reduce your body size, or that you need to, you know, adjust your head or your, you know, your,
Yeah.
like all the time, like it
Mm-hmm.
must take an awful lot of humility, or do you welcome it? How do you manage this constant feedback loop?
Well, first you have to get used to it.
Yeah, just get used to it.
Yeah. But you have to have an open mind. So this person thinks that, so you have to like keep an open mind. Like, how do you say it? Like everyone has a different opinion, so you have to like soak it in and then try it your own way.
Wow, love that. I just got goosebumps. Soak it in and do it your own way, because I guess these are the experts, right? These people who give you feedback are experts, so you take it in, soak it in, keep an open mind. Don't take it personally, maybe.
Don't take it personally, because if you take it personally, you'll just kind of like feel blue and like, oh, she said that to me, so I have to do it now. Like if you keep a negative like mindset, you aren't able to like continue. So you just have to keep an open mind and think that this person has this opinion, so you just have to like think another way, like to turn it into your own thing.
I love it. What's absolutely brilliant advice, because it's just all information, right? It's all information that you just soak up. Brilliant. And keeping it in mind. How do you stay positive then? How do you stay positive and motivated, especially in this corona when you haven't been able to get to the studios? Are you back in the studio now?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think I've seen you with your mask on the set.
Yeah. And well, I just love it. So you don't like, I don't have any like, I have to do this. So like, I don't really have a negative mindset about things.
Yeah.
But like my mum is really funny, so like she cracks up jokes that isn't even funny, but it's it kind of gets funny because it's not funny. Do you like understand? Yeah, and she keeps me positive, so I guess my mum's a big
supporter of you.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen next? So I absolutely love that. I think that's the gem of this whole conversation. I mean, we've heard about all this support you have from around you and having this like fun mum and all these people who've influenced you and support you. Well, what happens next for you? Like, where do you go next? I mean, are you planning to? So let me just get this right. So you went to Cirque School in Montreal. Summers, right?
Yeah.
Twice. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about that, and then tell me what's the plan.
Okay, so I went to Montreal, Canada for 2 weeks in 2018.
Yes,
for summer camp. So that's like a 2-week training, and you get to do like all this different kind of stuff. So like hand balancing, you get to do tumbling, you get to do hand to hand, which is like you hand balance on someone else's hands and then you kind of balance on that. And you get to do tight wire, you get to do dance, you get to do like all this like training. And what else can you do? You can do silks, you can do trapeze. What else? There's a lot of stuff, and then you get to do all that in 2 weeks. And then and then there's like a finale. You can show up like what you've been doing 2 weeks, and then your parents can see what you've been doing, and then you get to go home. And then I went to Montreal twice, and then I haven't been to Montreal this year because of Corona, because they were like, I know we won't accept other countries, so because of Corona you might get Corona, so you can't come. And Yeah, and then the summer camp got cancelled because of Corona, so everyone couldn't go. Yeah, that's it for the...
Where you are at now.
Yeah.
And so what's your career going to be in the future then? So how are you going to start to do this professionally? Like, where will you, once Corona's over, where are you going to be performing? Where are you going to like dedicate your life to? Do you know?
Okay. So there's an audition on the 29th for the studio. And you get to perform at all these amazing people's concerts. You get to like do everything. And then I'm going to audition for that.
Mm-hmm.
If that goes well, I think I would stay in Japan for a bit. And then once this Corona thing is over and then we can travel,
yeah,
I would love to go to Vegas and train there, or I would love to go to England and train there, or I would love to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and train with all this like other circus people and learn new things and like soak that like good energy, and then get back to Japan, and like if I want to perform here, I can perform here. Yeah, like for now I just want to go abroad and
yeah
stuff, because if I stay in Japan I keep doing the same thing over and over again. I don't hate that, but I think I'd like to like learn new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really brilliant point. Yeah, it's like it's not yeah, it's you love Japan, but Japan's quite small, isn't it, for not in size essentially, but there's opportunities here. But if you go to somewhere like Vegas, you get to meet all these people from all over the world, these incredible performers. And same if you go to London or something like that as well. It's like you'll get in contact with so many people. What did you say? Soak up that good energy. Yeah. Just be, I totally know you. I just love being around smart people. My friend was here last night, and we just talk and we debate and we talk about things, and I had such sleep, and then I woke up feeling so good this morning, you know. It's just so great. And her daughter was here as well, and her daughter's 18, same as you. So great. So that's where you're going in the future. How exciting. This interview will go out on the 28th, so I'm hoping that it's going to be a massive amount of good juju out there for you on the 29th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I just wanted to just jump quickly into your part-time job. Is it a part-time job or a full-time job? So tell me about this.
So I've started working at Adidas in Miyashita Koen, Shibuya.
So tell me about Miyashita Koen first, because this is quite a new thing, right?
Yeah, it was a park, but now it's like a shopping mall.
Yeah.
Shopping center. And there's this massive Adidas. It's a 2-floored Adidas. There's like workout Adidas, there's originals, there's Stella McCartney, all that kind of stuff in like one store. And there's a rooftop, and then you can hang there. There's like grass, there's like there's a skate park, there's everything, there's a Starbucks and stuff. And it's massive. It's so fun there. And then I've started working last week. Yeah, and then I can't really like go out yet because I haven't been trained enough, but next month I think I'll be at the store, actually, not in the back, like folding clothes and all that, but I think I'll be able to be in the actual store and helping out customers, so that will be fun.
So currently you're kind of an apprentice, doing all the kind of wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off stuff. Okay, to get yourself ready to go out in the front. And I absolutely love that, Mei, that you've been able to kind of marry your, earn some money, get a job, learn that, how to be a professional, but also marry that with your love of sports and your love of movement. And well, let's hope that Adidas sponsors you in the future. Are you sponsored?
No, not yet.
Okay. Absolutely. Weirdly, my friend who was here last night, it's Angela. She was my podcast before last, and she works at Adidas.
Oh, really?
Yes, she's their corporate social responsibility manager there. Yeah, so I'll have to connect you. Yeah, so I'm always trying to think, well, how can I connect this? Yeah, the antenna's always out. How can I connect people? Reel it in, Sarah, reel it in. So yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. So Mei, what do you think is your kind of, what would you say is your kind of philosophy on life? What do you think is your philosophy on life? What would you tell your 15-year-old self or your 10-year-old self? Or what about a little girl or a little boy or anything in between who is thinking what they want to do in the future? What would your advice be?
Just have fun. Like, don't do anything that you don't want to do. Like, of course you have to study, but like, you don't have to pressure yourself, because you won't use it in the future if you don't want to. And yeah, like, just have fun, because if you don't have fun, what's the point of doing it?
Love it. And what would your advice be for somebody like me? Would be same thing, maybe?
Yeah, the same thing, but like, I guess you know a lot more than I do, so.
No, I know what I know, and you know 100% what you know. So
yeah, just like have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm taking from this is like to just really look after your body and move it as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really important too, you know, especially as I just turned 49 last week, actually. And I love it. I actually really enjoy getting older. I feel like I kind of, when I hit 40, I was like, oh, finally I've arrived where I was supposed to be when I was born. And so I'm really looking forward to turning 50 next year. But I just think that I find it very inspiring listening to you talking about all this body movement and so on. Not that I'm going to stop being an athlete or anything like that, but it's just very, very important. It's so easy to let your whole body slip away somehow, and it's just a great reminder to keep it moving and have fun with it as well. Just have fun.
Just have fun. And if you move your body, you'll feel 100% better. Like, even if you don't like just like stretching like that will like feel like much better. So keep on moving.
Love it. Mei, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to just close out now. I'm going to wrap up, so just stay with me while I wrap up. So thank you everybody for listening or watching, if you're watching this. Thank you, Mei, so much for coming and talking to me today, and thanks to your mum for renting you out to me. I just absolutely love this conversation. It's so different listening to somebody who's kind of starting their life's journey, if you like. What I will be taking away from this is, well, firstly, I really love the kind of bilingual aspect to this, that you were kind of we've been mixing Japanese and English up and trying to translate. And for anybody who's listening or watching, you can see those kind of, this is how we lead our lives. We lead our lives in two kind of, well, for Mei, it's just very ordinary and normal to be doing this switch. For me, having moved here 19 years ago, we still have to be quite, it's just really interesting. It's really interesting being bicultural and bilingual. So I loved that. I loved all the mix up of the language. But what the thread that's running through this for me is the support of the family, the parents who are proud of you and who just encourage you to do what you want to do, even if it goes off the path that the family's been on before. The support of the grandparents, living together and having lots of contact with people when you're living in a 3-generation household. Also, I just really love this about feedback, is to just have an open mind. And this is a great reminder for me, because I hate getting feedback. So, just having an open mind and soaking it all in and keeping a positive mindset and understanding that you soak it in and then you assimilate it to what you need and you make it your own. And I just absolutely love this. Is such a beautiful and brilliant kind of apprentice and master apprentice style, which is somehow typical of Japan in a way. There's always this kind of master apprentice style of watching, repeating, but then making it your own, but really honoring your lineage as well. So I love that too. And just having fun and doing what you love. I mean, this is such an unusual story, and so few people get to do this incredible elite circus work. And I've just really loved listening to you talking about how you've made your choices along the way, dropping out of school in order that you could dedicate yourself to 4 hours a day of training, dedicate yourself to, you know, eating in a way that maintains your body in the way that it needs to be maintained for your profession. And that's a really frank conversation to have as well, about body shape, and just being very aware that that's not for everybody. I don't need to look like a model because that's not my job. I don't need to regulate my weight because that's not my job, right? I understand that, but I also understand the benefits of having an active and well-functioning, fun body too. So I really enjoyed your outlook, your decision making, your dedication to the thing that you love, your working in your zone of genius all the time, and how excited you are to be working at Adidas now and earning your own money. It's just been such a joy speaking to you, Mei. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so everybody has stories and I want to tell them. There are many, many, many ways to lead a life, and this is one of them. And so everybody have fun, keep moving. And I'll speak to you soon, and our next one will be out in 2 weeks' time. This one will release on the 28th of September, and then 2 weeks later I have another amazing woman lined up to speak to. But this person is from a completely different generation and a completely different life path. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.